each time your attention wanders. May I be happy. Feel the breath and the body's response to each phrase. May I be at ease. Notice where your mind goes with each phrase. May I be free from suffering. Allow the mind and body to relax into the vibrations of each phrase. Repeat these phrases over and over to yourself, like a kind of mantra or statement of positive intention. Don't expect to instantly feel loving or kind as a result of this practice. Sometimes all we see is our lack of kindness and the judging mind's resistance. Simply acknowledge what is happening and continue to repeat the phrases, being as friendly and kind with yourself as possible in the process. Now bring your attention back to your breath and body, again relaxing into your posture. Now please bring someone to mind who has been helpful for you to know or know of, someone who has inspired you or shown you great kindness. Recognizing that just as you wish to be happy and at peace, that helper too shares the universal desire for well-being and love. Begin offering her or him the loving and kind phrases. Slowly repeat each phrase with that person in mind as the object of your well-wishing. Just as I wish to be happy, peaceful, and free, may you too be happy. May you be at ease. May you be free from suffering. Continue offering these phrases from your heart to your helper, developing the feeling of kindness and response of love to others. When your mind gets lost in a story, a memory, or a fantasy, simply return to the practice. Begin again offering loving kindness to your helper. Having spent time sending loving kindness to your helper, let him or her go and return to your direct experience of the breath and body. Pay extra attention to your heart or emotional experience. Now expand your practice to include family and friends toward whom your feelings may be mixed, both loving and difficult. May you be happy. May you be at ease. May you be free from suffering. Now bring attention back to your breath and body again. Then expand your practice to include the difficult people in your life and in the world. By difficult, we mean those whom you have put out of your heart, those toward whom you hold resentment. With even the most basic understanding of human nature, it's clear that all beings wish to be met with love and kindness. All beings, even the annoying, unskillful, violent, confused, and unkind, all wish to be happy. With this in mind, and with the intention to free yourself from hatred, fear, and ill will, allow someone who is a source of difficulty in your mind or heart to be the object of your loving kindness meditation. Meeting the difficult person with the same phrases. May you be happy. May you be at ease. May you be free from suffering. Now let's begin to expand your field of loving kindness to all those who are in our immediate vicinity. Start by sending phrases of loving kindness to everyone in this virtual room. Then gradually expand to those in our town or city, allowing your positive intention for meeting everyone with love and kindness to spread out in all directions. Imagine covering the whole world with these positive thoughts. Send loving kindness to the north, the south, east, and west. Radiate an open heart and fearless mind to all beings in existence, those above and below, the seen and the unseen, those being born and those who are dying. With a boundless and friendly intention, begin to repeat the phrases. May all beings be happy. May all beings be at ease. May all beings be free from suffering. Now let go of the phrases and bring attention back to your breath and body, investigating the sensations and emotions that are present now. Feel deeply the effect of what you've done. May all beings be happy. May all beings be free. May all beings be joyful. May all beings be at peace. Brahma Vihara Maitri. Brahma Vihara Karuna. Brahma Vihara Mudita. Brahma Vihara Upeksha. May all beings be happy. May all beings be free. May all beings be joyful. May all beings be at peace. May all beings be at peace. May all beings be at peace.
So allowing the hands to move, the shoulders to stretch a little bit. Just allowing the body to wake up. Very gentle. Just being present with the body and breath in this mindful way of being. Just breathing, breathe in, breathe out. Nowhere to be but here. And I will recite the 3 jewels. You're welcome to say them with me. I won't do it as call and response. But let's see. Here we go. We take refuge in the Buddha, the awakening heart of infinite light, that which shows us the way in this life. We take refuge in the Dharma, the awakening path of infinite light, the way of understanding and of love. We take refuge in the Sangha, the awakening community of infinite light, those who live in harmony and awareness. Well, thank you all for following us along on our mindful path tonight through a couple of restarts on YouTube and then on Zoom. And then some of you may actually be watching on YouTube because we're doing we're streaming this Zoom meeting over to YouTube right now. So those of you who are on YouTube, if you want to join us afterwards for the Zoom meeting after the talk, that link is in your chat window on YouTube. For those of us already on Zoom, just stay in the room where we're at. But right now I'd like to invite Michael to do a talk for us. And so Michael, whenever you are ready.
Thank you, Cornell. So this talk I've titled Radical Faith, Finding Your North Star. And I have to say that I came up with this before the great unrest unfolded the last several days. And so, at least for me, it has probably more meaning. And hopefully you can relate to it. So let's start out by looking at the words I chose for the title. And I made this up, that I didn't get this from anywhere, so all the blame is mine. The word radical, I've always thought sounded good in the title. It makes you think it's something new, something fresh. It's eye-catching. There are books out with titles like Radical Acceptance, Radical Simplicity, Radical Compassion, Radical Appreciation. If you look the word up, it means extreme, fanatic, zealot, militant, farthest removed from the ordinary or average. These words are not very comforting. So, what am I doing with that word? In the context that I'm using it, it means that no matter what happens in the external world, a specific hardcore belief stays put inside you. It's unshakable. It's a shift from living outside yourself to inside yourself. To me, since we spend most of our time focusing on the external world, focusing on your internal self is a radical way to be. And after radical, there's faith. Faith means belief, conviction, or trust in something. And it usually relates to something good, such as I have faith that the sun will rise tomorrow. Today, I think that faith is in short supply. How can you possibly have faith in much of anything when there's so much suffering? When you've lost your job, when you're dealing with illness, when the future is so uncertain, when your life has been permanently changed, when people have failed you, when leaders have failed you, when you have so many conflicting demands on your time, when everything seems so chaotic, when life can feel routine and hollow, when our cities are on fire. In the Washington Post yesterday, the main headline was, quote, gripped by disease, unemployment, and outrage at the police, America plunges into crisis. I had to read that a couple of times before it sunk in. There are a long list of problems we're all facing right now in one way or another. And so when I read that headline, my shoulders just slumped. I felt deflated. And I'm an optimistic person, but it's getting harder to hold on to that. So what do? Steve Jobs, a co-founder of Apple Computers, who is a Buddhist, by the way, said, you have to believe in something. Even an agnostic or a nihilist believes in those things. What do you believe in? Now let's talk about the North Star. I think it's a great teacher. The North Star is an actual star called Polaris or Pole Star, as it sits almost directly over the North Pole. Here are some of its characteristics. It's a symbol of a guiding principle. It's not the brightest star in the sky, but it's easy to find. It's something like the 48th or 50th brightest star in the sky, yet it's easy to find. It hardly moves while the other stars wheel around it. It's in a constant place no matter what's going on around it. It's a landmark in the sky for people navigating without a compass. If you use the star, you won't get lost. And the North Star today won't be the North Star forever. Over centuries, the axis of the Earth shifts and a new North Star will be created. So how does this fit into what I'm talking about? The North Star is a symbol of the light you can always turn to, that will always be there, that will never let you down, that gives you meaning, that gives you strength, that you can always come back to, that allows you to navigate and not get lost. So how do you explore this in practical terms, in a way that can work for you when you need it? As I mentioned, this requires a shift from focusing on the external world to your inner self. Thich Nhat Hanh said, "A teacher cannot give you the truth. The truth is already in you." He also said words to the effect of, and I'm paraphrasing, "Everything you need is right here." In my experience, an excellent way to explore this is, surprise, to sit in mindfulness and meditation. As we know, this is where we can allow all of our preconceived notions to fall away. This is where we can allow our minds to drift free. This is sort of what meditation is all about. When you're able to experience this state, look into the deepest part of your heart, where you rarely go, where you may never have gone. Your heart doesn't lie. It contains your truth, whatever that may be. Also, while you're sitting in mindfulness or meditation, allow your unconscious mind to roam without limits. Invite your unconscious experiences into conscious awareness. I predict that something will come up at all times in relation to our environment. Who's around us, what's around us, and that's normally a good thing because it helps you pay attention. However, if you're trying to explore your inner self, this is limiting. It's like having blinders on. So practice wandering in your mind. Roam aimlessly without a goal, without a purpose. It doesn't matter where you are or where you go. J.R.R. Tolkien wrote a poem for Lord of the Rings. A line reads, "Not all those who wander are lost." I believe he meant exploration and curiosity have value in themselves. And while you're wandering, wonder at what you find. Show awe and amazement. Keep your beginner's mind working. So wandering and wonder go together well. Another way to explore your deepest self is what's called the Socratic Method, named after the ancient Greece philosopher Socrates. I've used it, and I found it very helpful for looking deeply into yourself so that you identify and understand your innermost beliefs and values. It's simply a series of continued questions and answers that allow you to start with a big question and drill down to the essence of the answer. For example, you may start with the question, what makes me happy? You then may follow with questions like, what do I mean by happy? How do I feel when I'm happy? How do I know when I'm happy? When have I been happiest? And at that time, what was it that made me happy? Etc. I'm going to tell you my North Star to help explain what I'm talking about. I believe in the eternal goodness of human beings. There's a quote from Reverend Martin Luther King that helps illustrate this. He said, "The arc of the moral universe is long, but it bends towards justice." There's an elegant cosmic simplicity to that. Of course, his context was achieving equality for African Americans. He knew that battle would be long and hard, and he knew there would be serious setbacks. He saw those firsthand, and so have we. And there were times when he was discouraged, when maybe he lost hope. There were certain reasons to, but he kept going. What kept him going as a person? What kept him going on the inside? There were many external reasons to keep going, but what was his radical faith in? What was his North Star? It makes sense to me that it's revealed in his quote. When he needed it, he summed up the moral arc of the universe. That's a pretty high concept. And his faith was that long after he was gone, that arc would continue to bend toward justice for eternity. And this high concept was his North Star. So, back to me. In a way, I have radical faith in a similar thing, although I use different words. I believe that most human beings are fundamentally good. And so I believe that fundamental goodness will win out in the end, whenever that is. That is a genuine conviction of mine. So my questions to you are, what is that one unshakable belief that keeps you going? What is that one conviction that lies deep in your being that will always triumph over despair, that will always prevail over hopelessness? What I'm talking about is something that has meaning beyond the self. And perhaps it's not just of this world. We have the entire universe to consider. How great is that? Now I'll come back to my title in different words. One could call it an extreme conviction in something that will never let you down. That's a very high bar. The moral arc of the universe, the fundamental goodness of human beings. What would it mean to you to have this? What difference would that make in your life?
Thank you, Michael, for your talk tonight. That really meant a lot. And I think, with all that's going on right now, it's so important to hear those words. And even as you said, you came up with this topic, several weeks ago, not knowing kind of where we'd be right now, so appreciate that, and how timely it is. And thank you to all of you who did kind of follow us along tonight, knowing that our technology over on YouTube didn't work out the first couple of times. And like I said, I'm streaming this meeting right now on YouTube at the moment, so some people have come back and joined us there. So hello to you on YouTube. In a moment, we will come over to Zoom, and some of us are already there. So those of us on Zoom, just stay where you are. And those of you who might be over on YouTube, I've posted the link there that you can join us, and we'll come there for sharing and discussion. So just a few announcements before we say our closing chant. Just again, thank you all for sticking with it tonight, but also thank you for sticking with us in the Dallas Meditation Center through these, however many weeks it's been, 10 or 11 weeks now, that we've been online and our doors have not been open. But it really shows to the strength of the community. And we've heard from a lot of you, some who are here tonight and some others who aren't, a lot of the regulars over these weeks. And we have some new regulars who wouldn't have been here otherwise, just because we're online. We've had some new people join us and be part of this community. So thank you to you, and please do continue to stick with us. And then I'll just mention, that our community is fully supported by donations. Even though our doors aren't open, all of the expenses of running a business continue. And so please do take part in Dana and supporting this community so that it can continue on. This month of May was our 10th anniversary of the Dallas Meditation Center. We had planned to have a big party and everything, but maybe that'll come later this year. But, let's make sure we're around for another 10 years, another 100 years. And the donation link is dallasmeditationcenter.com/give, or you can always text the word mindful, text the word mindful to the number 44321. And so we will close tonight here, but go ahead and stay on the Zoom meeting in a bit. Let's close with our closing chant. I will do the small bell from here. Countless beings we vow to free, ceaseless afflictions we vow to end, limitless truth doors we vow to open, the deepest paths of awakening we vow to realize. Thank you, everyone, and hang tight here on Zoom. Over on YouTube, join us. We're closing that connection right now. We'll see you soon.